7 daily habits that make you unstoppable. There comes a moment in every life, a moment when you are tired of being pushed back, tired of doubting yourself, tired of starting and stopping, tired of the war inside your own mind, and you ask yourself, why do I keep losing to feelings I can't even see? Listen carefully. There is something sacred about the first moments of the morning, before the noise, before the messages, before the expectations of the world begin to press against your chest. In that quiet space, you are not an employee, not a parent, not a student, not a provider. You are simply a soul waking up to another chance, and what you do in those first moments determines whether you will lead the day or the day will lead you. Most people lose the battle before they even get out of bed. The alarm rings, and the first thing they reach for is their phone. And in seconds, comparison enters, pressure enters, other people's opinions enter. The mind is flooded before it is fortified, and they wonder why anxiety follows them like a shadow. They never claimed the morning. If you want to be unstoppable, you must understand this. The morning is a doorway, and whoever walks through it, first fear or faith, doubt or determination, sets the atmosphere for everything that follows. When you wake up, don't rush. Sit up, breathe deeply, feel the air fill your lungs. That breath is proof that you are still here. You survived yesterday. You survived the mistakes, the disappointments, the silent battles no one else saw. That alone is victory. Close your eyes for a moment, not to sleep again, but to center yourself. Ask yourself, who will I be today? Not what will happen, not what might go wrong, but who will I choose to become regardless of what happens? Because life will test you. Someone will say something that triggers you. Something will not go as planned. An old insecurity may try to rise again. But if you decided in the morning who you are, those things will not define you. They will meet a prepared mind. Winning the morning is not about waking up at 4 a.m. to impress people. It is about waking up with intention. Even if you only have 10 minutes, protect them. Use them to feed your mind strength instead of scrolling through weakness. Speak words over yourself. Yes, out loud if you must. I am not behind. I am not broken. I am becoming. It may feel strange at first, but your mind listens to your voice more than anyone else's. And when negative feelings try to whisper, answer them immediately. If fear says, "You're not ready," respond, "I am growing." If doubt says, "You failed before," respond, "I learned before." Do not let lies settle in silence. Confront them early. Morning confrontation prevents daytime collapse. There is power in beginning your day before the world begins demanding from you. It builds a quiet confidence, a stability. You start walking differently. You respond instead of react. You breathe instead of panic, because you did not wake up accidentally. You woke up intentionally. The world is loud. It will always be loud, but if your morning is grounded, the noise will not shake you so easily. You will carry a stillness inside you, and from that stillness comes strength. Win the morning, and you win the direction. Win the direction, and you win the day. And when you stack enough days where you chose intention over impulse, clarity over chaos, discipline over distraction, you won't just have good mornings. You will have an unstoppable life. Your mind is not a playground. It is not a dumping ground. It is sacred ground. And yet most people allow anything and everything to walk through it without permission. Opinions, criticism, fear-filled news, social media comparisons, old memories, old voices, old labels, And then they wonder why they feel heavy, why they feel anxious, why they feel unworthy. What you allow into your mind will eventually shape your identity. If someone walked into your home and began throwing trash on your floor, you would not stand there smiling. You would stop them. You would protect your space. But when destructive thoughts walk into your mind, you entertain them. You give them a chair. You give them a microphone. You let them speak unchecked, and slowly they begin to sound like truth. Guarding your mind means becoming aware of what you are feeding it daily, because your mind does not care whether something is empowering or poisonous. It simply absorbs. Repetition becomes belief. Belief becomes behavior. Behavior becomes destiny. If you constantly watch things that trigger insecurity, do not be surprised when you feel inadequate. If you constantly listen to conversations filled with negativity and gossip, do not be shocked when your thoughts become critical and dark. If you surround yourself with people who only see limits, eventually you will shrink to match their vision. Your mind is always being programmed. The only question is, who is holding the remote? To guard your mind, you must first slow down enough to notice what is entering it. Notice the music that plays on repeat in your head. Notice the phrases you say about yourself without thinking. I'm bad at this. I always mess up. I'm not enough. Those statements may feel casual, but they are carving patterns in your brain. And patterns, when repeated, become prisons. But here is the truth. You have authority over your thoughts. Not every thought that appears deserves to stay. When a negative thought enters, you do not have to accept it as your own. You can challenge it. You can question it. You can replace it. If your mind says you're going to fail, ask where is the evidence. If it says everyone is better than you, ask compared to who. If it whispers you'll never change, remind it of every small victory you have already achieved. Guarding your mind is not about pretending negativity doesn't exist. It is about refusing to let it dominate. It is about choosing what you dwell on. You must also be intentional about what you consume. Feed your mind words that build you, conversations that stretch you, environments that inspire you. Even silence can be powerful nourishment. Silence allows you to hear your own voice clearly instead of absorbing everyone else's. And understand this deeply. Your mind becomes what it repeatedly sees and hears. If you want strength, feed it strength. If you want confidence, feed it courage. If you want peace, feed it truth. An unstoppable person is not someone who never experiences negative thoughts. It is someone who refuses to let those thoughts build a permanent residence. Guard the gate, be selective, be intentional, be disciplined, because once your mind is protected, your emotions stabilize. When your emotions stabilize, your actions strengthen. And when your actions strengthen, your life begins to rise. Protect your mind as if your future depends on it, because it does. Negative feelings are not your enemy. They are messengers, but if you do not understand the message, you will mistake it for a verdict. So many people try to silence their emotions. They distract themselves, they scroll, they overwork, they overeat, they pretend. They smile in public and collapse in private. They think strength means suppression, but what you bury alive does not die. It grows in the dark. Fear, anger, jealousy, sadness, shame. These emotions are not signs that you are broken. They are signals that something inside you needs attention. And if you have the courage to pause instead of panic, you will discover that within every negative feeling is a doorway to power. When anxiety rises, your heart races, your thoughts scatter, it feels overwhelming, but ask yourself gently, what am I afraid of losing? What am I afraid of not being? Anxiety often reveals where you have attached your worth to an outcome. When you identify the root, you regain control. You remind yourself that your value is not hanging on one moment, one opinion, one opportunity. When anger burns, it can feel explosive. But anger often protects pain. Beneath it may be hurt, disappointment, betrayal. Instead of letting anger control your reaction, ask, what boundary was crossed? What expectation was broken? Anger can teach you where you need stronger boundaries, clearer communication, or deeper healing. Jealousy feels ugly. No one likes admitting it, but jealousy points to desire. It reveals what you long for. Instead of letting it poison your spirit, let it clarify your vision. If someone else's success triggers you, perhaps it is awakening something inside you that wants to grow. Use it as fuel, not comparison. Sadness can feel heavy, like walking through water, but sadness slows you down for reflection. It forces you to process what you might otherwise ignore. There is wisdom in sitting with it for a moment instead of running. Sometimes tears are not weakness, they are release. To transform negative feelings, you must create space between the emotion and your reaction. Feel it, but do not become it. You are experiencing fear. You are not fear. You are feeling doubt. You are not doubt. That separation is powerful. Breathe. Literally breathe. Deep, slow breaths calm your nervous system. When your body settles, your thoughts become clearer. When your thoughts become clearer, you can choose your response instead of reacting impulsively. Then challenge the story attached to the feeling. Emotions are often fueled by narratives you repeat internally. I always fail, they don't respect me, I'm not good enough, but are these facts or interpretations? Question them, rewrite them. Replace always with sometimes. Replace never with not yet. Transformation happens when you shift from victim to student. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? That question alone reclaims your power. Unstoppable people are not emotionless. They simply refuse to let emotions drive the car. They sit in the driver's seat. They acknowledge the storm, but they hold the steering wheel steady. Every time you face a negative feeling and choose growth over impulse, you rewire your mind. You build resilience, you strengthen emotional muscles that many people neglect, and over time, what once overwhelmed you will only inform you. The feeling that once paralyzed you will now guide you, and the emotions that once controlled you will become tools in your hands. That is how you turn pain into power. There is a voice that follows you everywhere. It is there when you wake up. It is there when you make a mistake. It is there when you look in the mirror. It is there when no one else is around. And that voice is shaping your life more than you realize. The words you speak over yourself are not harmless. They are not casual. They are seeds, and whatever you plant repeatedly will grow. Some of you have been planting defeat for years without knowing it. I'm not smart enough. I'm too late. I always ruin things. I'm just not that kind of person. You may say it jokingly. You may whisper it quietly, but your mind is listening. Your heart is absorbing. Your future is responding. Your brain does not argue with your voice. It aligns with it. If you constantly declare limitation, your mind will search for evidence to prove you right. If you constantly declare strength, your mind will begin looking for ways to support that belief. That is the power of self-talk. It becomes the lens through which you interpret everything. Speaking life over yourself does not mean denying reality. It means defining yourself beyond your current struggle. When you fail, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," say, "I am learning." When you feel overwhelmed, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," say, "I will take this one step at a time." Those small shifts may seem insignificant, but they rewire your inner narrative. And your narrative determines your direction. There will be days when you do not feel confident, days when insecurity whispers louder than hope. That is precisely when your words matter most. Speak strength, especially when you feel weak. Speak clarity, especially when you feel confused. Speak possibility, especially when you feel stuck. You must become your own encourager. Do not wait for applause. Do not wait for validation. Do not wait for someone else to recognize your progress. Look at yourself and say, "I am proud of how far I've come," even if the progress feels small, even if no one else sees it. Because the truth is, many people grew up hearing more criticism than affirmation. Many people carry echoes of old voices that labeled them, dismissed them, underestimated them, and without realizing it, they adopted those labels as identity. But you are allowed to rewrite what was spoken over you. You are allowed to say, "That was their opinion, not my destiny." Stand in front of a mirror if you have to. Look yourself in the eyes. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but say it anyway. "I am capable, I am growing, I am worthy, I am not finished." Repeat it until it feels less foreign. Repeat it until it begins to sink beneath the surface. Words create atmosphere. If your inner world is filled with harshness and condemnation, you will constantly feel tense and small. But if your inner world is filled with encouragement and truth, you will move differently. You will take risks. You will recover faster. You will believe that change is possible. Unstoppable people are not those who never doubt. They are those who refuse to let doubt have the final word. So give yourself better words, because the voice you hear the most should not be the one that breaks you. It should be the one that builds you. There is something inside you that wants comfort. It wants ease. It wants to avoid discomfort at all costs, and that part of you is not evil. It is human. But if you obey it every single day, it will quietly shrink your potential. Growth does not live in comfort. It lives in challenge. Every time you avoid something difficult, you send a message to yourself, "I can't handle this," and your mind believes you. But every time you face something hard, even something small, you send a different message, "I am stronger than I think." And that belief begins to expand. Doing one hard thing every day is not about punishment. It is about power. It might be waking up when your body begs for 10 more minutes. It might be going to the gym when your mind lists every excuse. It might be finishing a task you've been procrastinating on for weeks. It might be having a conversation you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable. It might be saying no when you usually say yes out of fear of disappointing someone. Hard does not always mean dramatic. Sometimes hard is quiet and invisible, but it matters. When you consistently choose discipline over impulse, something shifts inside you. You begin to trust yourself, and self-trust is one of the most powerful forms of confidence. So many people feel stuck, not because they lack talent, but because they lack consistency. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel motivated. But feelings are unreliable leaders. Some days you will feel inspired. Other days you will feel tired, insecure, distracted. If you only act when you feel good, you will live a fragile life. Discipline is stronger than emotion. When you decide ahead of time that you will do the hard thing regardless of how you feel, you take back control. You are no longer at the mercy of your moods. You become stable, grounded, focused, and here is the deeper truth. Every hard thing you do strengthens your identity.